Hey everyone, QuasaRR here bringing you a playthrough of State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition. In this playthrough I'm going to focus on tips for beginners as well as explaining some of the mechanics in the game. I'm going to pick the standard difficulty since it's the difficulty most beginners will start off with to get a feel for the game and its mechanics. On this screen we're going to pick 3 survivors to start a community with. Before you start your community, you can roll for better survivors with better traits and skills. Having survivors with good traits and a good mix of skills will make the playthrough easier and give your community a better start. Characters have base 100 health and 100 stamina. If you roll a survivor with less than 100 in either of those stats, it's because they have a negative trait that's impacting those stats and you should just roll past them. The fighting skill influences health. A higher fighting skill will result in increased health. Stamina is likewise impacted by the cardio skill. I usually don't worry about the 4 basic skills, cardio, wits, fighting, and shooting, because you will naturally progress those as you play with the character, and they are also pretty easy to level up. The things I look for are if a character has substantially higher health and stamina. There are some traits that grant pretty substantial bonuses to both of them, and those are very valuable traits to have. With well over 1,000 different traits, it's pretty hard to roll a specific one that you might be looking for. Playing on standard, you don't need the most optimized survivors with the very best traits in the game, and you probably don't want to spend a long time rolling for them either, so it's a safe bet to focus on survivors with good health and stamina first. The next big thing to look out for is the 5th skill a survivor has. This is their community skill, which will provide a benefit to the entire community. Look to have a diversity in the 5th skill slot between your survivors because duplicate skills usually don't provide additional benefits unless they are morale boosting skills. Once you find a character that seems good because they have a decent and unique 5th skill as well as good health and stamina, look over their traits for any that sound particularly bad. It's pretty easy to pick out bad traits because they sound negative. For example, bad shoulder, bad back, incompetent, nearsighted, etc. If you're unsure, you could also just quickly search up a trait to see what it does. These are the 3 survivors I'm going to go with. All 3 have high stamina boosted by their traits. I find stamina to be very valuable in this game, almost more so than health. They have diverse community skills and they have good traits. Crazy metabolism is both a positive and a negative trait because it's going to grant an extra 45 stamina to Miriam. It also means she's going to be going through more food. But on standard difficulty, we should be fine dealing with that.
And we're empty. Again. So, whose turn is it to find more fuel?
Not me. Last time I almost choked to death on a bloater.
I have a better idea. We could settle down here, instead of moving on.
I admit, it looks better than the last couple of towns we came through.
Now that you mention it, it does feel kind of homey. It's settled. This town is where we'll set up our new base. We just have to find a spot that's defensible, maybe with some room to expand.
The first mission is to claim a home base for our community. The starting base is very close on this map. We also need fuel to be able to drive our car. Cars are extremely useful in this game. The map is big and getting from points of interest and missions can take a very long time without them. And you'll also have to deal with the zombies along the way. Cars also have trunk space that you can use for storing items that can help you bring back more supplies to your base after a scavenging trip. There are 4 types of freak zombies in this game. We just encountered our first one. That one was a screamer. They aren't dangerous on their own, but if you give them a chance to scream, they draw other zombies to their location, which can complicate fights. Right now we have 2 followers with us. Once we claim our base, we can only enlist 1 follower from our community at any time. There will be other times in our playthrough when we get an additional follower during missions, and these NPCs are invincible and you can use them as extra backup while you perform your tasks. I'm going to be exploring this fact further on in the playthrough. This area across from our first base always has a can of fuel to get the car up and running, and you can find additional supplies here as well. Fast searching speeds up how quickly you can search containers, with the drawback being that you have a chance to make a lot of noise that will draw nearby zombies. If you aren't in a particularly dangerous area, the 2 or 3 zombies that come for you on standard aren't really dangerous. We're in an open area that's pretty empty with 2 followers, so I'm gonna opt to do quick searches here.
Oh, this again.
We found our first gun and some ammo. Both are very valuable items that rank high on our priority when we're scavenging. Found the gas can to get our car going again, so let's head back. There's no rush to claim our home base, so I'm gonna go scout out the area nearby.
Smells like blood. Must be a plague heart nearby. Better watch out for plague zombies.
I spotted a plague zombie. Be careful. God, I am so sick of plague
Survey
zombies.
points are good places to start initially because they will allow you to mark nearby points of interest on the map so that you can strategize and go to locations that might have resources that you need.
Well, nothing in here worth a damn.
They also show you vehicles that you can use nearby, but not all of them are going to be up and running. Some vehicles may not have any fuel, so you're going to have to bring a gas can with you. And you can see this on the map before you head to them. There might also be cars that require a toolbox to fix them and get them going. I want to go and claim our home base now. You can also search the nearby buildings for supplies as you make your way back to the base because you'll be able to drop them all off once the site is claimed. When you're behind a zombie, you can execute them with one action. You can also dodge to safely move behind one and then execute. This move is an effective one to dispatch a small group of zombies quickly. It's a move that I use quite often.
I need a break.
Once you clear out the base of nearby zombies, you can claim the site.
Okay, I got this under control. The brainless are gone, so it's time for us to claim this place and move in. Our first priority has to be gathering materials. We'll need them to improve this place.
We need you to put eyes on a new area.
The base screen gives you plenty of great info and you can manage most actions on the base directly through this screen. The resource overview shows how much of each essential resource you have, and by opening up the details you will be able to see the maximum amount of each resource that you can store. Right now we have 6 units of food, but we can store a total of 25. Anything over the maximum limit is removed as waste after a short while. The details also let you know how much of each resource is being used up and generated each day. Right now our 3 survivors are using up 4 units of food each day. The detailed breakdown for community shows you how many survivors you have at your base. Labor is used to perform actions such as building a facility or crafting items. The one to focus on here is the number of available beds that you have. You want to have a bed for each survivor. Beds help your survivors recover their stamina and recover from fatigue when you leave them at base. Also, not having enough beds has a morale penalty associated with it. Now, when you take over a home site, most of them have pre-built facilities that provide benefits and boosts. This site comes with military cots, which provide 4 beds. However, you'll notice that the icon here is blue and has lines to represent that it is broken. You should select this facility and repair it so that you can start receiving the benefits for having it. To repair is going to require 2 labor and it will take 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The starting base also has 2 open slots. You use these to build more facilities. The infirmary is an essential facility that you can't go wrong with. It enables passive health recovery for survivors left at the base. It also allows you to deal with blood, plague infections, and craft medicine and medical supplies.
We need some help. Can anyone over there lend a hand?
Alright, hold on. I'm on my way.
Thanks.
In the community tab, you can see a detailed breakdown of every survivor in your community. Hovering over traits will give you a detailed breakdown of exactly what each trait does. Each survivor has a standing. It represents the amount of contribution they have made to the community. It is gained by doing certain activities which reward you with influence, like completing missions, killing freaks, destroying plague hearts, etc. However, trading doesn't count. There are 4 different community standings in the game. If you recruit a new survivor, they'll become a recruit, which is the lowest standing. The hero bonus of these survivors is hidden until you make them a citizen, which is the next standing. Hero is the highest standing that any survivor can achieve through contributions made to the community. Heroes provide their own hero bonus, which is going to benefit the entire community. Leader is the 4th and highest standing in the community. This rank can only be earned by manually promoting one of your heroes. The type of leader that they are will unlock certain facilities for the group and will determine the group's legacy after wiping the blood plague. When you're ready to switch characters, you can trade off weapons to make sure the survivor you're controlling and heading off onto missions with is well equipped.
I need a hand. Yours'll do.
Okay, your lead.
The quest A Cure for All Seasons is one that requires you giving another survivor group 2 samples of blood plague. Killing the few stray plague zombies close to the group is a pretty safe way to get the 2 required blood samples.
Cross this one off the to-do list.
Oh, that's wonderful. With these plague samples, I can make something that'll cure blood plague if one of us gets infected. We're happy to share the recipe if you need it.
You're alright in my book.
Each survivor can only carry 1 rucksack of supplies. You can also hand out rucksacks to other community members to help carry the load. Completing enclave missions will boost your standing with them, and they will randomly reach out to you and offer missions. They are pretty passive, and it isn't required that you do their missions and go out of your way to help them. You should always put your community's needs first, above the needs of another enclave. For example, if your community is already struggling with your supply of food, you don't have to answer the call of another enclave that is asking for food. Helping other communities of survivors does bring benefits. You can trade with friendly enclaves and they will buy your items for a better price. You can also recruit a single member of a friendly enclave with 750 influence. By helping friendly enclaves, you can boost your status to being allied with them. Allied enclaves will give you a discount on their wares, will give you a better price for your wares, and they will provide an enclave benefit. You can also recruit a single member for free once you are allied with them. I have plenty of supplies and the base is nearby, so I'm going to go back and deposit everything. Depositing rucksacks earns influence and increases standing. You can take control of a specific survivor and deposit the rucksacks with them for a targeted boost to their community standing.
Made it back safe and sound.
I like to leave a gas can in the trunk because you can use it to refill when you're far from your base and you don't want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere without a transport.
Hey Lily, it's Ray Santos. I wanted to let you know we've had a couple more communities settle down here in Trumbull Valley. They seem like good folks.
Thanks, Ray. It's nice to hear that people are coming back to the valley. Take care of yourself, alright? I count on you to keep an eye on Trumbull for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Bases also allow you to have outposts. Outposts are safe areas away from your base that you can use to switch characters and resupply. They can also provide resources and other benefits. There is a medical outpost nearby. Our supply of meds is low, so that'll be a good one to take. Later on, when we eventually move bases, it will also be a helpful area to resupply and switch characters while we're out on missions.
I spy a screamer.
An outpost here will really help us fight the fucking zombies.
You can also level up outposts to gain more benefits, and these are all listed out here to the side.
Guys, we got us a goddamn outpost. If we put some extra time into this place, it could really pay off.
Bladed weapons typically have higher dismember, lethality, and speed values than blunt weapons. You can only hit one target at a time with bladed weapons though. All of that combines to make them good at destroying single zombies or killing small groups of zombies. The dismember stat determines how easily you can knock off limbs from zombies, which makes them less of a threat. The lethality stat determines the likelihood that a single attack will kill a zombie outright. This is an example of using the supply locker at an outpost. You can easily transfer your items and sort out your inventory. You aren't able to drop off rucksacks of supplies at outposts, however. They can only be done at base. Our base has 4 parking spots. That means we can store and save 4 vehicles, and those vehicles will move with us when we move to another base. It's also good to acquire more vehicles since you can store rucksacks in the trunks of cars that you won't be using once you start maxing out the storage for them at your base. This vehicle is close by, so I'll make that the goal for what to acquire next. Once we have this car parked at base, we can head off on foot to get the other vehicle.
Guess you're on point.
I need a breather. I need a break. I bet we have some stuff that our neighbors would like.
The next mission takes us past our base, so once we get to the car, we can also scavenge the area for supplies and drop them off once we're returning back to base.
Could be worse.
Backpacks vary depending on the number of slots for items they offer and their weight. Make sure you're equipping and using the lower weight versions, especially when looking at backpacks that offer the same number of slots. Make sure to watch the meter at the top and make sure your character isn't encumbered and the meter isn't in the red. That will result in stamina penalties for your character. We got another vehicle and plenty of supplies. We have plenty of building materials, so let's start the building of a workshop. Workshops are quite useful and they also allow you to repair and salvage weapons that you pick up along the way.
Nerd alert. Yeah, this is the apocalypse. Playing nice won't get us anywhere.
Our current mission is a basic trading mission where we go and meet this other community of survivors. For missions that require you to interact with another community, you should look through your supply locker for luxury items. They have no purpose besides the fact that they can be traded for a good amount of influence points.
Enjoy peace eternal, asshole.
Hey, folks. We sure would appreciate some help over here.
I got eyes on a freak.
That's the second freak we've encountered. It's a bloater. You always want to kill them from a distance because they explode in a noxious gas cloud that does damage but also causes the status effect of gas inhalation. That will lower the maximum health and stamina of a survivor inflicted by it. You can clear the effect at the infirmary at your base at the cost of meds or passively by leaving the survivor at base. You also want to make sure you avoid running them over because the gas cloud will get attached to your vehicle and will continue to hurt everyone inside it. This is a pretty simple mission, just have to buy a rucksack from them. All they have is food, which is fine, we can use it.
We've made good partners. I think they'll give us better prices in the future. And trade is the key to our survival.
I'm not convinced.
The 200 influence points gained from the mission also more than offsets the cost of the rucksack. The next mission point is going to take us past our base so we can scavenge and load up on supplies to drop off on our way.
Somebody just hitched a ride.
The bloater cloud lasts for a few seconds and it has a pretty big range. It can be pretty annoying to deal with, so make sure you look out for bloaters. They also like to lie down in the middle of the road, but sometimes also in bushes and you might run over them by accident. I've been using my active survivors for a while and they're probably getting close to being tired, which is going to limit their overall stamina, and I can leave them at base to recover health as well. After completing the Scoundrels mission, a whole new base, they will go into allied status and I'll be able to enlist one of them for free, so let's knock that out.
Sticking around here too long would not be smart.
Hello. That's good to hear. Be careful, hun. We don't want anyone getting hurt out there.
I was hoping that one of them would follow me to help me get the new base. That new site is probably infested with a lot of zombies. I'm gonna go grab one of the survivors at base to help me out.
So close, I can almost taste it.
This one's dangerous. You be careful, okay?
Good thing.
There's way more than I thought there were going to be. Good thing I brought backup. There are also a bunch of armored zombies. They take a lot more damage to bring down.
Done. What else you got?
Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you.
Don't worry about it.
Can't take much more.
Dear God, I'm tired.
In dangerous situations like these, use your consumables. There is a reason why you have them. I wasn't using them as I should, and I was creating a more dangerous situation for myself because of it.
Don't just stand out there, hon. Come on in.
Now that the mission is done and they are allied, we can now recruit one of them to join our community. Recruiting one disbands their group and the other two will leave. In order to figure out which one to recruit, use the command to learn about the survivors. You won't be able to see their traits, but you can check their health and stamina to get an indication of if they have any positive traits towards those stats. You can also see their community skill if they have one.
What's going on, hun?
She has very high construction and her health and stamina are not being affected by negative traits. Good sign. You can always ask a survivor to leave once you ask them to join. So if you ever discover they have bad traits later on, you can always replace them with another survivor. Once you recruit them, you can review their traits in detail.
So nice to see you. Always glad to see you.
So, we want you on our team. Them? Not so much.
What's going on, hun?
Can you help me out? It'll be quick.
Of course I'll go with you.
Once an enclave leaves their base, you can search it for supplies. I made my way back to the old base of the scoundrels. I'm glad I did because we just found our first crossbow. Crossbows are completely silent range weapons, allowing you to stealthily take out multiple zombies without putting yourself in danger. The hunting and sniper crossbows have piercing bolts, which mean they can fire through multiple zombies. They also have a faster, longer range projectile arc, making them more effective at extreme range. Crossbows can take a standard bolt or a light bolt, so you have to make sure you're using the correct one for the crossbow that you have equipped. You can make either bolts at the workshop, so it's pretty easy to get ammo for them. Also, when firing a bolt, there's a chance that you can recover the bolt by going over to where you shot it and picking it up. Basically, crossbows are awesome, and I'm glad to have this one. Because of the community skill of our most recent recruit, we get to create 30 standard bolts instead of 20, so we're already getting a benefit from our new recruit.
This is Lily Ritter with the network. I'm reaching reaching out because I'm worried about my friend Ray Santos. He hasn't been answering his radio, and I'm getting a little worried. I'm sure it's nothing, but I'd appreciate it if someone could check and make sure everything is okay.
This is a good stopping point for now. I hope that you guys found this video useful and that it helps your play as you explore the game and grow your own communities. If you found this beneficial, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I can't wait to bring you even more content in the future. I hope to catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.